What's up, family? Hope you're all doing well. Hope you had a good day. If you didn't have a good day, just know the worst is behind you and tomorrow is yet to be written. We have to speak what we want into existence. So we always have the power within us to change the reality that we are experiencing. Some things we have to recognize that we bring upon ourselves, and sometimes things just happen against our control. But just know that those events don't make us who we are. They don't make our existence what it's supposed to be. We always have the power to look within, see what's going on, recognize that energy, and actively work to change it. I wanted to come on here today. I'm definitely in my favorite spot, as always, kind of taking walks. Seems like when I'm in this place taking walks, my divine channel is always open because there's various thoughts, various epiphanies, if you will say, that I come into realization of, and always seems like something I definitely want to share, or just, for those that's kind of going through the experience. So, definitely in my Lilith energy today, because today for me was rather a heavy day. I wouldn't say it was a bad day. It was just a really heavy, energetic, emotional day. I woke up fine, and nothing really went wrong per se. It's just throughout the day, it just felt like my energy was just being brought down, to where I started feeling myself getting into this uncharacteristic depression type state. It was very weird, I started to have kind of intrusive thoughts, negative intrusive thoughts, about myself and about who I am, and just a sense of tiredness. So, definitely had to come out here in nature, just because I always find it's a good spot, a good way to cleanse my auric field, cleanse myself, especially of any negative projections that people may have sent my way throughout the day. So I figured while I'm out here taking a walk, like I said, I definitely felt like, I was in my Lilith energy, because my Lilith black moon in my natal chart is in Sagittarius. So, as I understand it, as I'm beginning to understand it, it's all about not being afraid to speak one's truth, because I definitely understand that I'm here to shake the paradigm and to speak various truths, as I'm coming to realize it, speaking my truth, as I go through my journey, my spiritual journey, my awakening, my ascension. For those who, I don't want to say behind me in a sense, because there is no anybody that's behind or anybody that's in front of or greater than and above, but just those that are coming into that realization of their power, awakening to who they are, awakening to the paradigms in their lives that they wish to change, that they have been brought here to change, whether it's with themselves, the life lessons that they're here to learn, or the patterns in their family that they're here to break, so that way they can free their ancestral bloodline. It definitely can be one, I'm not going to say definitely can be, it can be one of heavy emotional, I don't want to say ties, but it can just be a heavy emotional state. Speaking as someone who's gone through it, sometimes it definitely can be lonely, especially as you start to step into your empowered state, especially as you start to show yourself more and more love, as you start to realize that as a person who truly loves themselves, there are certain things that they've accepted in their life that they will no longer accept going forward, or doesn't sit right with themselves as they go forward. So, naturally, because of it, there are going to be people in your life that have been used to treating you a certain way, or showing up in your life because you've been willing to accept that in their life, in your life. So this can be anybody from friends, siblings, even parents. So, and that's one of the reasons why I say it kind of about the loneliness, is just because as I really started to step into that power, into my own power, that power of self-love, And setting boundaries, that's one thing that you'll find that comes with that especially if you were somebody like me that was a people pleaser, from a young age, because of the religion that I was part of, and just because of being made fun of that, I always made myself small. So that way, because I was afraid of people making fun of me, and I wanted, naturally anybody wants people to like them. There's obviously a few people who, don't really care, and they're born naturally with that inclination, but, I wasn't one of those individuals. I'm an Aquarius sun, so I always have that analytical mind, so it's easy for me to get in my mind. I'm an actual Aquarius sun and an Aquarius Mercury, so I get that double mind to where it's very easy for me to get stuck in my mind and to think of ways that I can get people, to like me. And anytime I perceive what goes against the status quo, I'm looking at ways to adapt myself so that way I can be acceptable by the greater society. And that's really had an impact in my life over the years, to where I was a huge people pleaser. When things would happen, when people would need, because of the Aquarius side, I'm very good with my mind. So when people had problems, whether it be computers, life, situations, challenges, they were always quick to call me, because they knew that whatever Brandon's doing, Brandon would basically stop and help them out. So, and that was part of my people pleasing side, is that I would always put myself, my desires, my wants, my needs on the back burner, because I knew between me and the other person, I was so strong that I was willing to sacrifice myself, my wants, my desires, my needs, my emotions, in lieu for this other person that I perceive not as strong as me, because I knew that I could handle whatever things came, no matter how sad, how depressed, how lonely, how upset, how emotional. It made me that, I would just cry a little bit, get those emotions out, and I would just keep pushing on to the next goal, the next task, the next thing that needed my attention or that I needed to do. And so it definitely gets to a point to where people get accustomed to that. So once you step into that empowered state of self-love and you start putting those boundaries up with people, it definitely can rub people the wrong way. And that's when I say about the loneliness part, comes in, is because once you start putting those boundaries up, out of love for yourself, a lot of people will take offense to that, because they're so used to you being one way that all of a sudden now you've changed, and they don't realize who this person is that they are now faced with. So unless those individuals are emotionally intelligent, which unfortunately not a lot of people are these days, they will have an emotional reaction to you as far as displaying those boundaries and stating, what it is that you are going to do for yourself, what you're going to accept for yourself. So, one instance is I love my parents to death, but, basically my father, I had to set a boundary with him. And it wasn't even necessarily with him, it was with somebody that my family was associated with, that he called me one time. I was meditating, and he called me one time to help someone that they were connected to, and I didn't like how that person treated them, how they disrespected them at the drop of a dime. So I was like, basically told him, I was like, Pop, I love you, but I don't like the way that this person treats you. So as a boundary I'm setting, I'm not going to help this person because of how they treat you. The lack of respect that they show you, basically don't call me anymore when it comes to helping this particular individual. I'm here for you. I'm here for the family, for anybody that needs it, but I'm not going to be here. I'm not making myself available for this individual. Well, in that instance, I'm thinking and feeling pretty good that, I finally voiced, like I said, stepping into my Lilith energy, speaking that love, that putting that boundary in place, regardless of how it may make someone feel. basically it triggered him emotionally to the point to where he basically said, well, since you're doing this, you're doing things that I don't like. So, I started getting into tarot cards and basically playing around with those. And we grew up in a very strict religious background. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. So anything that wasn't about going to the Kingdom Hall, or in the Bible was seen as demonic. So the thing that was funny was I posted some tarot cards, or like a card pull that I did one time on my Facebook page, and obviously he saw it. But the thing is he said that he saw me posting an Ouija board on my Facebook page, which I don't have an Ouija board. I've never touched an Ouija board, never even had a thought about doing anything with the Ouija board, because I don't need to. I have a connection with the divine, with my spirit guides, to where if I need a message, or a message needs to be delivered to me, it's going to be, given to me, or people are going to be brought into my path, into my existence for me to conversate with. And then the divine is going to use them to speak that truth to me. Or, he's going to send, an animal or something basically to communicate that thought process to me. So, but it was just, in my mind, in that instance, the fact that he brought up something as an excuse for why he didn't want to associate with me, that was a complete lie, that was an illusion. To me, that was telling me that that was spirit basically showing me the type of person that my father truly was. And because sometimes, spirit, the divine, will want us to cut certain people off or remove certain people from our lives, because there's things that he wants to do for us that he can't do with certain people around, or he wants to give you certain blessings that he doesn't want other people to receive or be part of it, because he knows their hearts, he knows their minds, he knows the type of people that they are, and that in a lot of cases they're not deserving of the blessings, because you're the one, just like me, that's putting in that hard work, that's doing the difficult soul work, that's doing the difficult shadow work, going through those days of heavy emotions, feeling down, depressed, because your body is going through a purge, purging out those old emotions that we've spent so many years, so many days, months burying deep within ourselves that we've potentially even forgot about. So whenever people or individuals put that work in, he sees that they're deserving of this, because that's not something that he knows is not easy to do, especially in this plane of existence that's all about emotions, and emotions are so raw. That's why there are a lot of things that are put out there to distract us, whether it be social media or the news, television. There's just so many things that's there to distract us from who we truly are and what we're truly meant to be. So that's one of the reasons why I definitely wanted to get on here, is because, I know I open up my videos saying that I hope you're having a good day, and it may give the impression that I'm always having a good day. But family, I'm a soul having a human experience just like everybody else. I don't always have a good day. Sometimes I do have those heavy days. And after work, I was basically laying down, watching some of my favorite tarot readers online, and basically, the divine spirit was speaking through them, and it was just reiterating something that I knew within, because as I was sitting there, I got flashes of myself basically making this video, talking about various topics, and I just knew that was spirit telling me to, hey, get up, go out here, take a walk to shake this energy out, but then also transmute it and this pain that you're feeling into a lesson for others who may be going through it or who will go through it. So one, that you see that you're not alone. There's somebody that understands that it's not an easy journey to go on, and that somebody knows what it is to go through it. So just wanted to say, family, definitely love you, definitely appreciate you, and keep going so it gets better. I love you, I love you, I love you. Have a good day.